Hi guys. How do we add someone onto a Facebook or an Instagram live? Oh, here we go. View request, you guys. I'm always winning or learning, right? Win for today, right? Not happening now. Oh man. Mel. Oh, there we go. Yes!
We're here. So this was your first time doing this? It was my first time today too, see? We're always learning.
Oh my goodness, it's so good to see your face.
Oh my God, it's great. It's been too long, girl.
Oh, it has. Come to Puerto
Rico. We're thinking.
Oh, I got a phone call. Wait, when do you come to Puerto Rico?
We don't know. We're thinking about it. We're looking at it actually. So yeah. It's gonna be fun. Bottom line is I've been released. I'm good to go.
It's so good to hear. It's so good to hear. Okay,
Yeah.
so you were, for everybody that's popping on right now, you were on my podcast, like one of the very few first people that came on to my podcast. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
And you've been highly requested again because you talk about something that a lot of people don't talk about.
Well, because we've been taught not to talk about it.
And now you just started a podcast talking about all the things.
Yeah, I have. All the things money, all the things wealth, all the things richness in life, entrepreneurship, the stuff that never, like you said, never gets talked about. Yet if we don't talk about it, how do we elevate it? How do we create it in a way that is right? I mean, are we supposed to just hit and miss and figure it out and go through the mess? I mean, the mess. I got construction outside. That's the mess, and that's what we're doing. And it's like, my gosh, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just think that it's time that we have honest, open, real conversations about this entrepreneurship, how it affects money, how to use money, how to do this. Not just so you have wealth, but so you have richness. I mean, the things that you're doing with your business and the change you're making, not only in your customers' lives, but those other ripple effect lives that you have. That's the richness. That's what's important. And too many entrepreneurs become what I call treadmill entrepreneurs and never even see that they're just running so fast, so hard on the treadmill, and they think the only way to make more and to build anything is to run faster, harder, and longer. And in the end, they break down, they burn out, and their relationships suffer, their health suffers, and that's a challenge. And I want to end that. And this show, the Affluent Entrepreneur Show, is about having the real conversations, bringing on guests, bringing on my audience members, and coaching them and helping them do that.
Yes. Okay, so if you're listening right now and you think someone could benefit from learning about how money works in entrepreneurship, will you tag them down below and let them know about this Instagram live, and then they'll be able to find Mel's new podcast. One of the things that Mel, it was so good, was businesses help us to get the seeds, and instead of eating those seeds, if we plant those seeds, we can live off the harvest, and it yields so much more. And I thought that was such an amazing analogy about business is great. And yes, it can provide great money, but how many entrepreneurs we know go broke because they spend everything versus investing it into the right field and knowing how to harvest it, be able to get so much more than when they started with. That was brilliant, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's so true. I think there's two kinds. They'll turn around, that they'll go cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out. I'll just keep earning, and they're burning. They're earning and burning, and they're earning and burning. There's those that are cash in, and then they're reinvesting the money into their business because they want to continue growing, which has its own risks in the sense that when something happens, if your sole way of making a living, your sole way of supporting your family, supporting your mission, supporting everything is the business, it's a place of failure. It's a point of failure also. And the thing that allowed me to navigate the last 2 years has been that I ran the business a certain way, but built a financial machine outside the business. Last 2 years, I've been on a cancer journey, and it pulled me out of the business. And yet, if I was in the business and it was the only way to make money, I had to stay in the business. I didn't need to do that. And I think we all need to do that. As entrepreneurs, we need to build that financial machine outside the business. So if a pandemic hits or something, God forbid, happens, or you just choose to sit back and say, I'm going to take a step back for a couple months, you can.
Yeah. Yeah. And you get to say, maybe you invest more and retire earlier. Maybe you invest a little less and spend some of the money for fun, because we all like fun stuff, right? But there's balance on it. And I love how you talk about that. So, okay, Mel, why are you the expert with it? There's a lot of experts out there, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you started this yesterday.
You know, this is literally a culmination of a 35-year journey. I'm a CPA by education, so whatever, that gives me the education, it gives me a bunch of licenses, but I've had the opportunity to help build businesses, buy and sell businesses, but more importantly, I've lived through it. I've done everything that I'm telling everyone to do, and I've done everything that everyone that's listening or watching is going to need to do, and I've done it totally wrong, and I've done it right. So I tell people that the beautiful thing is that I've done enough things right to be successful, but the even more beautiful thing is that I've done enough things wrong to be educational, and and bring that to them. You know, I've lost money, I learned lessons, and those lessons are the things that I bring to the table. There's you know, I've worked with some of the top entrepreneurs in our space to help people. I sit on boards of directors, so I bring all of that in the game, but that's expertise. The thing is that I've got years of being an entrepreneur myself and saying, wait, I got on the treadmill. I was running like crazy. I was running hard and fast and burnt out. And you know, I was a single full-time dad, and you know, he drew a picture of me, and all he saw was me working. He didn't see us having fun. And that was the kind of a moment where I sat back and said, it's gotta be a better way to do business. To be able to serve the gift. I mean, you have such a great family life and beautiful kids and a beautiful marriage and all that stuff. And it takes work, but if we neglect it, because we say, because this is what a lot of entrepreneurs can do, is they say, I got to build this because it's for us. So you use that as an excuse, but you're forsaking the greatest gifts that are given to ourselves, and it's living a rich life. And so we need to look at it and go, is there a better way to do business? Is there a better way to do money? And as I struggled with those things, that's where I kind of came to where I am with the Affluence Blueprint and the Affluent Entrepreneur Show, and saying, there is a better way. There is a way to do this. And it's not all eggs in one basket. And it's not as complicated as the financial services industry would like you to believe. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is simple. The principles are simple. Once we get the fundamental truths and we know what the behaviors are, we just got to do them consistently.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so have you launched 6 episodes?
We have, I think we have 5 episodes. Number 6 will go live tomorrow. Okay,
what are some of the topics of those episodes?
So one of the first topics is what is an affluent life? Because so many people, when we talk about the word affluence, they think, you know, Aston Martins and mansions. And the funny thing is, that's not what I think of. It's about having a meaningful life. It's about having an impactful life. Yes, it's about having a fruitful life, but it's also about having a peaceful life. So affluence to me is a more well-rounded perspective versus wealth. Wealth is commas in a bank account. It's a scorecard, but there's plenty of people that are wealthy but are miserable. Their health sucks, their relationships aren't good. There's no holistic success for them. And so I use the word affluence. And so that's one of the episodes. The other episode is, you know, how simple way to become wealthy, simple way to become financially liberated. What are the things that you can do starting now to start to build that? and make that happen. I talk about the idea of the money taboo. Why we need to be talking about this. What are the things that are happening out there? We all live in a financial comfort zone. We all live in multiple comfort zones: financial, relational, physical, all that stuff. We talk about comfort zone as if it's singular, but it's not. It's plural. There's many of them, and inevitably we butt up against the walls of our financial comfort zone. And sometimes we sit back and go, hey, this is all I know. So the idea behind the show and everything is, let's move the walls of the financial comfort zone, because it's in that, it's in beyond the walls where your wealth lies, where your richness, where your freedom, your liberation lies. I see a comment about why lottery winners go broke immediately. The reason they go broke immediately is that, you think about this. If you're going to go to a gym and you've never worked out before, and you go and you get the big Olympic bar and you put 2 45-pound plates on each side and you go and do some, you're going to hurt yourself and you're never going back to the gym again. So a lottery winner, and many of these people that inherit money and have never gone through it, is that they have this financial comfort zone. And instead of slowly pushing the walls out and starting with lower weights to build the muscle and the behaviors to understand and do the right things, they blow through the walls, they put all the weight on the barbell, and they go and they get hurt. They never skilled up, they never learned the behaviors. And why do they lose? Is because they obliterated the comfort zone walls too fast, and they didn't learn in the process. The process of moving your financial comfort zone walls is a process of learning, guidance, tools, principles that work. And when we learn them, we continue to move them out forward. Look, I learned them by making mistakes. I learned them by studying. I learned them by having mentors and people in my life to guide me and say, hey, there's a pothole there, don't step there. Mm-hmm. And now, post cancer, I want to pay it back. I'm tired. It was hard for me to watch people during the pandemic really struggle and wonder, where's their next dollar coming from? How are they going to live? What kind of retirement are they going to have? Now everything is gone, and I'm going, man, there's a better way. Let's help each other, because financial independence is a birthright, is my belief. And we just got to claim it. We just got to claim it. And it has nothing to do with greed. It has nothing to do with greed. It has really nothing to do with money, but it has everything to do with living our truth and living our life in a fully fulfilled, enriched way. I mean, the gift you're giving your children, Allison, is amazing, because they get a chance to watch the two of you operate as a relationship, and live a rich life. My son has had the chance to watch me. I raised him since he was 6. He's 31. He's married to a beautiful 27-year-old. They're expecting their first child. Here they are, 31 and 27, 3 homes and a multi-million-dollar net worth. And to me, if he is my greatest success, I did okay here, but I want to spread the wealth. I want to give more success out.
That's so awesome. And I know I've called you personally and like, I am struggling with this, because it's true. Like, when you first get started, your brain thoughts are, you kind of live with scarcity mentality. Like, oh my gosh, let's go. And then you get to the point in your journey, you're like, okay, there's got to be more to this. Not just money, but in giving back, and how to make that happen in your business, to build the inside of your heart, that if you're just so focused on money, I think you'll skip past so much of the learning as to why we're here on this earth. You helped me with the donations to Hope International. And Mel, do you want to know how many we're at? I actually haven't.
I would love to. I use you as an example. So.
We've given over 7,000 microloans out.
Gosh,
isn't that?
I mean, that gives me goosebumps.
Well, you helped. Like, how do we take what we earn, put it into the ground, and help other people live off this harvest? And you helped me to think through that process. Now 7,000 families have a chance. And you know, I had a hard time with saying like, I did it. So instead we did it in our students' names. And so they're all a part of it. They feel, we got 7,000 microloans given from my students. It's been so impactful. So many kudos going your way about helping me think through this process that I didn't even know was a possibility. So I love it. I love listening.
The first principle I usually teach is that it's why before how and how much. Too often we're going, well, how do I do this? How do I build this? How much do I need? Well, let's figure out the why first, because look, Apple Podcasts. So we were supposed to launch this show on Monday. We tried to submit the show on Thursday a week ago. Nothing went right. So they had evidently upgraded their platform, which downgraded their service evidently. And the whole thing crashed. I just talked to someone, they have 41 clients with podcast shows that cannot go live. And it was a disaster. So we were struggling to try and figure out, how do we get the show live? How do we get the show live? And this is what we end up dealing with in business and things like that. And what allowed me to start to look at it differently and say, what was looking at the why again, was sitting back and say, wait a second. I knew that the beautiful swan I thought I was going to give birth to wasn't going to be a beautiful swan because circumstances allowed it such that it wasn't going to be launched in the way that we wanted. So, but if I was so focused on like, oh, well, I got to chart it and I got to do this, and that's the thing that matters, I would have crawled up, I would have delayed it, I would have done all kinds of other things. But the why was, oh, no. We're actually helping people move the financial needle. It's about giving people the path to financial independence. That's the reason we're doing the show. So does it matter that if some of the people don't see the right cover art for the first little while till Apple figures out their stuff? Nope. So lean in, put the show out, let's go serve, because that's the purpose. And I think that when we look at that, the reason you've got 7,000 families that you're impacting is not only that you figured out the why, but you enrolled everyone else. So you created an army of people on a crusade that, while serving their family and their needs in their life, they're serving someone else. And that's such a gift. The currency of fulfillment is far more valuable than the currency of dollars.
Amen. Mic drop right there. I'm so glad that you did this podcast.
Oh my God, I'm excited about it. You know, look, being honest, I'm a little nervous about it because that means now I got to do weekly content and all that stuff. And there's a lot that goes into it, as you know. There's a lot that comes out of it. The conversations, I had someone who actually saw me do a 45-minute keynote, and she came back to me a year later, actually 10 months later, and she says, you know what, after your keynote, she said, I paid off over $100,000 in debt, and my husband and I just went into contract to build our dream home.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, wow, that's, to me, that's such a blessing for me. That's such a joy for me. And when we talk about the path out of cancer, it's what heals me. It's what makes it all make sense.
Yeah.
So
coming back is because you've seen this journey so many times through entrepreneurs. Like, Mel, you could go off and sit on the beach and prep to be a grandpa, but there's this thing that keeps pulling you back that says, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to keep going. I talked to you a little over a year ago, and you're like, I want to do this, but I'm not quite ready for it yet, because you were getting over all the cancer stuff. As soon as you're cleared, you're right. You're on fire with it.
Our dear friend David Bach asked me the same question. He said, we were on the phone just a few weeks back, and he said, why are you doing the show? Why are you doing the show? Why are you doing a book? You don't need to do this. You're independent. You don't, and I said, here's why. I think what really drove me is that when they diagnosed me 2 years ago with a cancer, I'm not a cancer. No one in my family's ever had cancer. I don't have the risk factors. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff. And so there was no reason for me to have it. And I started searching in my past. What did I do? What did I do to deserve this? And it was a dark, dark place, dark place. And so I knew that if I stayed there, I wouldn't heal myself. And it was in a realization, in a moment where I sat back and said, wait a second, the why, it's not in the past. It's actually in the future. It's ahead of me. And I get to look forward and say, what do I want this cancer to mean? What do I want it to have a meaning of? And so, like I told Dave, I said, I see this new chapter, the show and everything that I'm doing now as the way to give the cancer value, as the way for me to say, this is the why. And I had control of the why. I just needed something to get my attention on it. And evidently I'm stubborn and bullheaded. So for some reason, God decided we're going to give you cancer to get your attention. And now it's looking forward and saying, I get to define it all. And that to me is healing. It's joyous. It's meaningful. And that's what kind of keeps me going forward. And then knowing that I can affect young people's lives because I'm doing work with youth, as well as anyone in between, to say, yeah, financial independence is within your grasp. Let's go there. Let's get there. And even if we don't get fully there, if we can get you partially the way there, we're better than if we didn't do it at all. Too many people are just resolving themselves and sitting back and saying, this is what I get. Nope, it's not. Let's not be satisfied with the status quo. Let's give you the tools and let's make it grow.
Agreed. And just, Mel, like, if we live in a society, we're not, every decision isn't determined by money. Imagine what else we could do in this world, right?
Oh my God.
How much more act, because we lead with our heart. And volunteering to go down to the local shelter to serve, but we still have to have money to be able to pay for the gas to get us to the location, right? And on and saying, okay, let's talk money. Let's get this down so that you can lead with your heart more and you're not leading with the dollar more.
So my process or my framework is called the Affluence Blueprint, and one of the core critical outcomes of it is complete freedom. But there's 3 levels of freedom that we talk about and that we're looking for. The first one is financial freedom, but that's where people stop, and it's the wrong place to stop. The other 2 are more important, and that is, 1, time freedom. The ability to decide what you're going to do with what you got. I mean, I stared mortality in the face. I always knew that my time here was finite, but when you're staring at it, you realize, oh no, it's really finite. It could be days, months, years, hopefully it's decades, who knows? But when you get that wake-up call, then you sit back and go, my ability to control time, my time is important. And then the 3rd level of freedom is the level of freedom of the mind, to have the peace of mind, to know that my family's taken care of, the causes that I want to get behind are taken care of, that I've done good work and I lived a true life. And the money may have been a vehicle, but it wasn't the driver behind it. It was everything else around it.
Yes, so good, so good. Okay, so we've been on for almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Talk about the show. Where is it? Is it on YouTube too, or
it is? Well, it's going to be on YouTube. We'll be posting the videos onto YouTube starting next week. Right now, it's on Spotify and iTunes. You can go to melabraham.com/show live, and it'll put you in the right place. It's called the Affluent Entrepreneur Show, and I'd love to hear from you. Remember, the show is for you. I'll be bringing I'll be teaching some things. I'll be bringing guests on. Allison, I'm coming after you, bringing you on. We're gonna bring guests on, but I'm gonna bring the audience on too. So I want to hear questions. I want to know what's ailing you. I know what you're struggling with. Let's get those questions answered. Maybe bring some people on to do some live coaching and mentoring in the process, and really make it a safe place for all of us to have a real conversation around money, around wealth, around richness, around life, and doing that so we can live like an affluent entrepreneur lives.
I love it. Mel, you're amazing. Thank you for being such a blessing in my life. This podcast, oh, I'm so excited for it. I'm probably going to be having my children listen to it as well, because I want them to have a different thought about money than what I thought.
Well, I intend to bring my son and his wife on too. So we will have a conversation, and that'll be really a good episode for them.
Awesome. I'm excited for that one. Okay.
Thank you so much, Allison, for your time and always your love and support. It means the world to me.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And then for everybody listening, actually, when we're done, I will go tag this on my Instagram story. So you can just do an easy swipe up to go over. You can download, leave a review, all the good things. Let's get Mel ranked up as high as possible. His voice needs to be heard because his voice is the truth, and we need that shared with so many people. So thank you, Mel.
Thank you, my dear. Talk soon.
Okay, bye.